Okay, I'm live, guys. This was a totally impromptu live stream here. This was not planned whatsoever. It is Friday, August 18th, and I'm sitting at home alone and have been home alone since about 7 a.m. this morning. Roger is now the high school band director. In previous years, he has been, or he was, the middle school band director. So he was the assistant for the high school, but he didn't like take over every single duty that the high school band director had. He is now the high school band director, and I'm so daggone proud of him. But it is now high school football season. So he on Fridays specifically is gone from before he leaves to go to work, well, I guess when he leaves to go to work in the morning until after the football game is over, anywhere 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So pretty long days being at home alone on Fridays. And a lot of times I don't mind alone time. Honestly, I kind of love it. Thankfully, I married an introvert and we both value our alone time, but I mean, it's also hard to just not have him be at home at all throughout the day. So, like I said, this wasn't initially planned. I just wanted to come on and have a very low key, casual chat. I just saw someone join, but it's not letting me see who. Feel free to say something in the chat if you want. I may have to try to open the chat on my iPad because it is going to be really hard to try to deal with it on there. But yeah, thanks for hopping on. I'm trying to see who it is here in just a second. But yeah, I was just kind of explaining this was not planned at all. Roger is home. Or Roger's not home alone. I'm home alone. Have been home alone since like 7 a.m. Will be home alone until about 11:30 p.m. So wanted to just hop on and chat for oh, Cynthia, hey. Okay, I got you on the other screen here so I can see it's you. I'm so glad that you happened to see this today. I know I always enjoy chatting with you. So I didn't have anything super specific planned for this today. I filmed about an 8 minute just unfiltered raw whatever video earlier that was kind of an update on life and recovery, and I may still give that update in a minute, but I just wanted to touch base first and see if there is anything that you all wanted to chat about, or if you just saw me like doing that. There are little fruit flies in this house. They're everywhere in this town this year. Everyone is talking about them, and I'm like swatting them away. Doesn't matter what I do, they're there. So apologies, you guys see me like going all over there. Oh my gosh, it's almost 11 a.m. and there. Oh goodness, Cynthia, that's actually, I just got off a workshop with the Recovery Collective with a dietitian who's based in Australia. So I knew that it was morning time there. Gabriel, thank you so much. I'm so glad you enjoyed the reactions. I love doing them. They're super fun for me, and I'm just always thankful that anyone's able to enjoy something that I share. So it continues to amaze me. But I did want to, before I kind of got into that update, like I said, wanted to check in with you, see if there's anything that you all wanted to share on here, and then I wanted to try to get to some of the questions that I know that were left in the Q&A community post that I posted like a few months ago. So I've taken screenshots of those, so I'm not going to be able to see the chat for just a second, but I want to try to go through some of those. I mean, I think over the past few months I've inadvertently answered some of them, but thought we could at least do that. Maybe it'll spur some other conversation, who knows. But having trouble getting things set up and making official like legit videos, so wanted to at least take this moment to connect and chat and go over some things. So as far as the questions on that post go, this was literally like 2.5 months ago. Someone just asked when I realized that I thought my videos could make an impact for people around the world, and I just realized I cut off the end of his question, but that was the gist of the rest of the question. I remember reading it all, and when did I realize that was going to happen? I posted the NF Hope reaction. Now, I've been an NF fan since 2014, so I was so excited when he announced his new album. I hadn't heard of Ren yet, even though he had started gaining some traction. I posted the NF Hope reaction mid to late February, I think, is when that video came out. And everyone in the comments of that video is like, react to High Ren, check out High Ren. And I'm like, oh, okay, don't know what this is, but gotta go check it out. I believe I posted my reaction to High Ren on March 7th. And immediately, on March 7th, as soon as y'all started leaving comments, I'm like, holy crap, this is touching a lot of people. This is reaching a lot of people, not necessarily my video, but his music. And then I noticed that people were responding to the way that I was able to relate and share how it both like share the specifics about some of the medical stuff that maybe they don't know firsthand, because thankfully they don't have to deal with it, or just kind of share how it specifically resonated with me. And that was like literally almost immediately after posting that video on March 7th. I'm like, oh, there is there is a need for something out there. I don't know what it is. I don't necessarily feel like I have a whole lot to offer the world, but there are people out there that are enjoying this. I need to at least try to stick with it. And actually, when I first got those comments, I when I first got those comments saying do high run, do high run, do high run, and I did that video and got such a big response, I told my recovery coach, I said, and I also told Roger, I said, I don't want to become a reaction channel, because I had this idea in my mind of what a recovery focused channel should be like. And I do want to say that being able to pivot my channel and leaning fully into the reaction side of things, which I've loved to do for years, but imposter syndrome kept me from doing it. Um, I've loved to do it. I'm so glad that people have been able to relate to it and resonate with it, because leaning into that has not only allowed me to do something I love to do, but has allowed me to also receive joy from the response that I get from that. And that is like I've said in many comments to people over the past several months. I do all of this, one, because it's cathartic and it's healing for me and I love it, but also I my number one goal, or I guess just not my number one, but my top goals, I guess would say, to make people either feel more understood, less alone, or to help them learn or laugh about something. So if I can accomplish any of those things, then I that just blows my mind, and I'm happy to be able to do it. Let me check your comments out here. I saw if you came in as I was answering that. Let's see. Oh, Vincent. Hey, yeah, it has been a while. I've missed you, buddy. But no pressure. Like I said, no pressure ever to comment. I don't ever want anyone to feel like they have to comment, but I'm glad to see that you happen to see the live here. And glad that you took time to comment in here, because you, again, as so many of you do, make me smile all the time. And oh, we got Apollo in the house too. I'm trying to not shake the bed too much, because you are really balanced balanced on my desk on the bed, and I've got some things like trying to stabilize it, but I'm trying to like not move too much because I don't want it to be shaking. Ironically, the higher end video has done the best out of any of the videos on my channel, and the camera is shaking all over the place because I did not have my setup, and like it makes me cringe. It makes me cringe, but people still love it. So hey, that makes me happy. I cringe, but I'm also happy, I guess. Yeah, I thank you, Apollo. It is nice to have some company. I was explaining at the very beginning of this, I've been home since about 7 a.m. this morning, until I'll be home alone until like 11 tonight, because Roger's at the high school football game since he's the band director and stuff. So I just figured we have a little low-key casual chat. Couldn't hurt. Let's see. I was going back to the comments here. Yeah, okay. So Cindy, you said it's your first live here too. Honestly, guys, this is the first live stream that I've done since I've been making any of the reaction content. I have not done a live stream. I think the last live stream I did was actually January of 2022. I think. I could be off on that. Maybe it was February of 2022. At one point, I railed on Gwyneth Paltrow and her doctor and this crap that they were promoting that I'm not going to get into right now. I think that was the last actual like live stream that I've done, though. So I have psyched myself out a lot. And put the pressure on of like, oh, it needs to be perfect. I need to be able to set every single thing up. And I'm like, you know what? No. If I need connection today, if I need to be able to connect people, know that there are other people out there needing to connect as well, then I want to be able to do that in any way that I can. So it makes me so glad that you all took time to join tonight, even though this is not like, anything super specific. And I also agree, Cynthia, I love how music is just bringing so many people together and giving a voice to so many things that we don't necessarily talk about in society. And exactly, yeah, you all are saying things that are so just, I mean, I know we've all talked about a lot because you all are awesome people. The need for authenticity, connection, community, it's all there. And it's honestly a blessing to be able to provide any of that to any degree at all. So you all are as much of a blessing to me as any of you have ever said. I can't speak tonight. Anything that you all have ever said to me in the comments that has been so kind and so encouraging, you encourage me just as much, if not more so, than you ever say the same to me. My brain is not working. I hope you get what I'm saying here. You all mean a lot to me. You mean a lot to me. Your words mean a lot to me. And yes, Vincent, I do remember you. So don't ever think that I forget. I do not forget. I don't forget many things. Sometimes I forget the things that matter, but not that you don't matter. I remember people that matter. Sometimes I forget like the medical things that matter that I need to remember, and I remember things that just don't completely matter at all, like the first 30 plus digits of pi. But we're not going to go into there. Okay, let's just see. I want to go back to some of these questions I screenshotted here, just because I promised to answer these, like I said, 2 months ago, and I had not been able to get to it yet. Let's see, let's see, crap, of course, I'm moving all over the place here. Oh, someone asked me how my baby steps were going. So this was after I had shared that I was starting to try to get back on my rocket fuel. The video that I shared, I think I just shared this vlog back in like April. My rocket fuel being my tube feeding formula. I will get to answer that question in just a minute when I give kind of my little update that I filmed earlier, but I'm not sharing that video. I'm just going to kind of give it in this live here. Um, let's see. Someone asked me, oh, I think it was Tracy asked me, have I ever listened to Priscilla on? And then she mentioned one of her streams or one of her songs. It was really beautiful. I've heard that name, but I don't think that I've listened to her. But I can tell you that I know that I wrote that name and that song on my list of things to react to at some point. So I will be getting to that as well. One person asked me about this thing on my head. It's like, what's always on your head? What's going on there? I know I've mentioned this in a few different comments. Hold on, I just saw somebody else jumped in here. I'm trying to manage a couple screens here so I don't lose track of people. Let's see. Oh, hey, two other people dropped in here. Hey guys. So let me get to that before I get back to the question. You guys, you make me. You're about to make me cry. Your kindness and encouragement makes me. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed in a good way, which is good because I've been overwhelmed a lot in a bad way this week. So backstory, just quickly to the question about this. This is a cold pack. This is like I have 4 of these that are like this. I also have 2 that have like 3 rows. I actually talked about all of them in my Amazon must-haves video that I did about chronic illness, mast cell stuff, recovery stuff, just general life stuff. I mentioned all these in there. I have had a headache every day since January 20th of 2012 +1, and I can't say that number out loud because OCD is a jerk, and it convinces me that someone in my family will die if I say the number between 12 and 14 out loud. Because, that's logical, right? I very much know it's not, but I'm just being cautious here. I've literally had a headache every day since then, not a single day without it. And for the first few years, I just had to wear like a sports headband to get some kind of like counter pressure on there to relieve some of what I would explain as like my skull trying to break out, or my brain felt like it was trying to break out of my skull pressure that never ever leaves. It's a Lyme thing and also an autoimmunity thing, and all kinds of different issues contribute to it. But for probably the past 6 or 7 years, I've had to wear a cold pack 24/7, and that's why it's always on, because in the very first videos on this channel, before I was doing this kind of content, I would try to go without it. And I remember by the end of those videos, I would have to crash in bed for hours, if not like a full day or two, because the pain got so bad just from not having the cold pack on while I was filming the video. And with lights and everything, I just can't do it. So this is a cold pack that always stays on my head for that reason. I don't always think to explain it because it's just so second nature for me. So that was a comment that came up in the Q&A post that I did a couple months ago, and I wanted to address that, even though I know I commented back to someone about it back then. Let's see, going back here. I guess I could just kind of give you, I think a lot of these questions I ended up answering in some way or another, or I missed the screenshot up. Oh, someone asked, it was actually Peter who's been very kind. He's asked, how could we support you best? Some reaction channels have links to Patreon, GoFundMe, Buy Me a Coffee, all of that. I've mentioned this, I think, in comments or maybe in a video before. I haven't set any of that stuff up yet, and it's not because I don't want to be able to give you guys that opportunity, because many of you have voiced you would like to be able to support me in whatever way. If I'm going to start something like Patreon, I want to be able to deliver on something extra there, the different tiers that exist on that. I don't want to just throw something out there and not be able to offer you anything in exchange for it. So I just haven't mentally and physically been able to get all that stuff together yet, and I don't want people to just be throwing money out there if I'm not able to follow through and add additional stuff on there for that reason. So literally right now, your comments and support, just encouragement, is, again, as I've said in many comments, it is more than I can put into words. It is so overwhelming to me in the best way. And just knowing that there are people out there who care and actually care. I just saw the comment, gotta have a cool head, right? Indeed, absolutely gotta have a cool head. I will say, Scott, in my diss reactions right now, I did not so much keep a cool head the entire time, though I tried. I will be happy to move past the diss reactions, but also glad I did it. Anyway, oh, hey, Raymond, I just saw that you jumped on too. Sorry, going back to the comments here. I know I was kind of jumping all over the place there. Oh goodness, Apollo, I'm so sorry that you've had that headache all day today. Roger has headaches fairly frequently, especially like barometric pressure headaches if it's raining and stuff. And he'll say something about it, and then he'll like apologize, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry for even saying that because you deal with this all the time." And what I tell him is the same thing I'll tell you. Yeah, it sucks to have to deal with it all the time, but at least I'm used to it. He's not used to it. You, based on what you're saying there, you're not used to having to deal with it every day, so there's no comparison. It just sucks, and I'm sorry you're having to deal with that at all. I really hope it gets better soon, because headaches, oh boy, they make everything, they make every little part of life just harder to do. So, yeah, anyway, I do those, Scott. I appreciated that comment. That gave me a laugh. Gotta keep it cool. That made me laugh so much. I now got myself sidetracked. Let's see. I guess I could just quickly try to go into the update that I tried to record earlier. Ended up crying actually when I filmed a little video clip earlier. So I'm gonna try not to cry too much here. But here's the update going on right here, and this kind of addresses the question from a couple months ago about how my baby steps were going as far as recovery and the rocket fuel goes and all of that jazz. Oh boy, to try to make this as concise as I can with some context. At the beginning of 2022, I had a therapist I've been working with for 8 months who, mid-session, after she let me pour my heart and soul out for 20 minutes, all of a sudden said, our time working together has come to an end. There was no explanation, there was no warning, there was no heads up, there was no like, I'm sorry. It was like immediately she turned into this callous, cold person that I had never seen before. And she was telling me we weren't making progress when I had like felt like I was making progress for the first time in years, because the first time I had been able to go to therapy in years, because thanks to the pandemic, it was offered virtually. It wasn't for the better part of a decade that I've been bedbound. It wasn't offered virtually. That sent me into a horrible grief spiral. And sorry, my brain, I was looking at the chat there. I see you all connected. I'm so glad you all are chatting in the chat. That was redundant. So glad you all are connected in the chat as well. But anyway, that sent me into a really dark place. 2022 was very difficult. I did not find hope whatsoever. I had no hope. In August of 2022, well, I will say that therapist thing happened in January. April, the dietitian I was working with at the time also left me, which meant that since I didn't have either one of them, I had to stop working with my coach for a month. It was a very dark year. It was a very dark spring. It was a very dark summer. It was a very dark year. And mid-August of last year, I had the opportunity to do a series of ketamine infusions. So IV infusions at a local clinic for treatment-resistant depression and the other mental health issues that have just never really gone away. And they were really, the infusions, they were life-changing in that from the very first one, I was able to feel hope. I felt hope for the first time in my life when it comes to my recovery. I've dealt with this eating disorder for 20 plus years. I felt hope for the first time in my life as far as I actually believe that I can recover from this. There could be a life, this could be worth it. There could be a life that is worth living, because at that point I had been stuck in this place where I literally was saying, God, I know you exist, but part of me doesn't want you to exist, because it feels like if you exist, how can you be good with all this that I'm going through? But I know you exist. So if you exist, could you please have mercy and just like, I don't know, maybe take me home? Like I was in a really dark place. I did not necessarily want to be on this earth anymore. Sorry, Roger just sent me a message and I was trying to not get sidetracked, but he said the halftime show went well, so I can't wait to talk to him when he gets home. That made me so happy. Anyway, so that happened with that therapist, with that dietitian, lost my coach for a while. I was just started those ketamine infusions, finally had some hope. Did about 6 of them in a period of like a couple weeks, because I did 4 of them in a period of 2-ish weeks, because that's what their like loading protocol is. And then I did 1 a month, September, October, November, and December. And then our clinic stopped being able to offer them. And it was for a lot of logistical red tape reasons, but there's nowhere else around here that does. And I've been doing it via an at-home telehealth psychiatrist provider who does at-home versions of it. I've been doing that all year. I have been counting on that all year to help me be able to make progress with the therapist I ended up starting to see in October of last year, and with my coach, who I'm back with again, and with my dietitian. And I was really counting on it because it had shown me promise for the first time ever. And then the past 8 months now have been nothing. It has done nothing like what we thought it would. I don't have access to the form that was helpful. This at-home stuff is not cutting it. It is not helping in the way that we thought, and that's been really, really frustrating, because amidst all of this, I'm running against the calendar and the bank. because when I first relapsed and all this stuff, 2 years ago for the first time in like a decade, um, I really needed to be at a level of inpatient care, especially with all of my medical complexities that come along with this. And there's only one place in this country that is equipped to handle all of the different chronic illness things that I have going on alongside the eating disorder stuff at this time. And that place literally would not even talk to us. It was all, again, red tape, insurance stuff, a bunch of bullcrap that I don't want to get into because I will get pretty heated. But as a lot of people are, specifically when they are dealing with this for a long time and they have a lot of complex issues that go along with it, I was denied the ability and honestly the luxury. Treatment can suck, especially if someone is forced into it. But when you make the choice to go and you know that you are choosing to go to get your life back, that honestly I'm realizing is a luxury that I had in the past that I haven't had this time. And I've had to try to do this all on my own, on an outpatient basis. Not on my own, I mean, I've had my coach, but like at home. I wasn't able to start off this process of nutritional rehabilitation and weight restoration in a place like that to where I could then do the work with my outpatient team. So I'm going to be losing the specialist doctor that I'm working with mid-December. My scholarship runs up on her. I'm not going to be able to afford working with the outpatient team that I do have right now. And I've only got like a few months left. And I'm constantly like every day, gosh, I didn't mean to start crying again. Every day I'm living with this panic of just constantly feeling this shroud of hopelessness of, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose everyone. There's no way I'm going to be able to get anywhere in the very limited amount of time I now have. I actually have a really awesome therapist now. I've only had 3 sessions with her, but she's great. However, I'm only going to have her for like a few months. So it's really hard right now to not get stuck in the jealousy of people who are able to access the level of care that they need to actually jumpstart this process in a way that would be helpful. I also feel kind of stupid. I also feel stupid and incompetent for not just being able to figure it out and do it on my own. And the reason I'm going into all this detail is because I know that not everyone here comes to this channel for this stuff, but it is a big part of my life. Arguably the biggest part of my life right now, because it literally affects everything, including my ability to make the videos that I actually want to make, including my ability to do the reactions and do the things that I want to do on this channel. And so that's kind of why I'm just going into it. It's been really hard. It's been really dark. I've really had a hard time. Fear of weight gain sounds like just that phrase makes it sound so much less intense than it really is. When I say that I'm afraid of that, it means that I'm afraid of any type of change. I'm afraid of losing control, which I don't really have control. The disorder is a falsely perceived sense of control. So I want to say that. I'm not saying it's actual control, but it tells you it's control. It tells you it's autonomy, even though it's not. And when everything else, health-wise and financially and just everything like that, is so not anything that I'm able to do anything about, my brain still is stuck in, oh, well, this has been the thing that has, quote, worked, even though it's not worked. It's made my life pretty miserable, honestly. Made Roger's life pretty miserable, honestly. But it is such a deep-seated terror. I don't even say fear. I use the word terror a lot because it is so paralyzing to me to think about any type of changes. And a lot of it comes from like a sensory autism side of things, and then a lot of it is just literally the eating disorder brain telling me that anything other than what I was at my worst is a failure, and all this stuff that I know is not true, but again, that's what my brain says to me. I'm just really struggling with the fact that I'm going to be losing everyone, and that is keeping me from being able to make progress in the time that I actually have left with them, because that's all I've been able to fixate on. So I'm really trying to figure out how to get past that, because this is, again, like I said, the #1 reason I've not been able to put the time and attention into this channel that I've wanted to lately, because this is every waking moment. Every waking moment, I'm on the verge of tears, or the verge of hyperventilated, or the verge of just a complete meltdown or panic attack over all of this, because dang it. It's such a paradox, because I'm scared to do this. I'm also scared to get to the end of the year and not have anything to show for it, and then just be, there's no winning. So there's something that they say out there in the recovery community, you know, you have to choose your heart. Are you going to choose the heart of living with an eating disorder for the rest of your life? Or are you going to choose the heart of going through recovery and hopefully eventually getting to the other side? I've not been able to do that last that latter part quite yet, but I really want to be able to. Yeah, so that's where I am right now, just trying to work some things out. Nowhere at all where I thought I would be in mid-August of this year. I thought it would be so far ahead from where I am. And I'm just not, and it's frustrating, and it makes me feel pathetic and like a failure in multiple ways. When everybody else seems to find a way to figure it out, and I can't. And I used to think I was a fairly smart person, but starting to doubt that a little bit too. Let me look at your comments here for just a second as I gather myself so you don't have to listen to me cry anymore. Oh, Lord. Sorry, guys. I really did not mean to lose it, but that's, again, this is what's been going on constantly. Thank you guys so much. I was just scrolling through Scott, Cynthia, everybody that's commenting, and I know your actual name, screen name Hexenkind1, but I'm blanking on your actual name right now. I'm so sorry. I know you. I know your actual name, but I'm only seeing your screen name now. I'm so sorry, but thank you as well for everything that you've been saying. You're right, Scott. Yeah. I like that you pointed out, I do have a choice, even though healthcare is pretty non-existent. It's just been really hard to make that choice as far as like moving forward, because I was denied the level of care that I actually needed when I was literally on death's door, and I don't say that to be dramatic. I don't say that to be dramatic at all. It was the worst place that I have ever been in my life, the most dangerous physical place I've ever been in my life, and honestly, it's a miracle that I'm alive right now without getting that level of care, but it has also prevented me from being able to make a lot of the progress that I was hoping I'd be able to by now. Thank you, Cynthia. You have such an empathetic heart. Thank you for the encouragement. I'm holding on. I'm trying to believe God's got me. Trying to believe that, because I know that there have been times that he has. I know that he's proven himself before. And I'm trying to cling to those past times when I'm feeling the abandonment right now. Oh, Vincent, thank you. Neither stupid nor incompetent. My agoraphobia is similar. I feel like refusing to go outside is me having control, then I feel dumb for thinking it. Vincent, I haven't talked about this on this channel, but agoraphobia is something that I occasionally deal with from time to time still, but it's something I very severely dealt with like 2015, 2016, 2017. So I know that struggle very well, and I know exactly what you're talking about there. And I'm so sorry that you have to deal with that. But just like you said, I'm not stupid nor incompetent. You are not dumb for thinking that. It's your brain. It's a mental thing going on in your brain. Let's see here. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to get this far behind the comments. Scott, okay, he mentioned to set up a GoFundMe. Don't be afraid. I will say I've thought about it. Years ago in 2018, we had to do a GoFundMe for one specific Lyme treatment that I was getting at the time, and we were able to do that. I shut it down because I didn't want it to be like an ongoing thing. It was literally just for that very specific time of treatment. And it may be something that I do again, especially once the end of this year comes and I face the prospect of losing everyone that I'm working with, especially when I'm still not going to be in any place to do all this on my own. I think I'm just trying to put it off as much as I can, simply because if there are other people out there who need support more, that they're able to get it. But it's on my radar, so thank you for mentioning it, because I mean, I'm not gonna go out without throwing every Hail Mary that I can, right? So thank you for that. It might be something that I end up doing if I like I said, if I feel like it's appropriate at the time. Let's see. I feel you, Cynthia. It definitely does not mean you are always capable of reaching out. Reaching out is a very hard thing to do. I see Cynthia and Vincent coming back several times. You all are great. Let's see, Vincent says, you're a survivor, and Cynthia is right. God's got you forever. I think people like you are why God made the world in the first... Vincent, are you... And here's okay. Right here. Here's evidence that I think God is real. And you all know, if you've been on the channel, and most of you who are here that I'm talking to in the chat, I know that you've been here for a while. So you know that I don't like to get super preachy and talk down to anyone else if they don't share the same faith that I have. I also try to be very honest when I struggle with my own faith, as I have specifically the past couple of years. But reading the end of Vincent's comment right there, that said, I think people like you are why God made the world in the first place. That kind of stuff. I can't put into words. See, I'm speechless because I can't put into words how deeply a statement like that, and so many of you leave comments like this that have this effect on me, how deeply it touches my heart. And there's no other way to explain that, I don't think, than it being a God thing, even if I have trouble seeing his hand at work in my day-to-day life right now. So thank you for comments like that, not because I necessarily love hearing good things about myself, but because if anything shows me that he still exists, sometimes it's interactions like that. Let's see. Thank you. Yes, I was a little hesitant to do the stream tonight, but I'm glad that several of you were able to join, and I definitely think that getting it all out of my system and just chatting and having you all here means more than I can even say. I say that all the time. Means more than I can put into words. I can't say it right, but that's literally because I get so overcome with your kindness and encouragement and just compassion and empathy that it just that blows my mind, because that's not something I've gotten a lot of in my life, from a lot of different people. Let's see, scrolling a little bit here. Oh man, Apollo, yeah, been self-isolating hard for the last year. That'll definitely start to get to you. And I think a lot of people have found themselves doing that, who thought that it would be the opposite, especially after the worst parts of the pandemic. I think they thought that they would be getting back to a lot of, quote, normal life stuff. I don't like using the phrase normal life because that implies that people who are stuck at home for whatever reason don't have a normal life, and that is their normal. But semantics aside, it's really hard, no matter what the reason is. It's hard to be so isolated and have that difficulty in just getting out and connecting with people. I just feel you guys so hard, and I'm so sorry that you're both having to go through that. Vincent, awesome on your huge breakthrough. You went outside for the first time in 14 years, dude, and you went to 2 doctor's appointments. You better do that freaking happy dance, dude. That is awesome. I wish I had like little reactions here. I'm streaming on my phone, so I don't have anything on my desktop that I could add here. But like, pretend like I've got all these emojis coming up there, these celebratory emotions. I don't have any confetti to throw here either. Look, I've got a tea bag. There's my confetti. Good job, Vincent. That was awesome. I'm losing my mind tonight, guys. Seriously though, that is amazing, Vincent. I hope you are allowing yourself to feel how big of a win that was, and letting yourself celebrate it, because it's definitely worth celebrating. And I'm so glad you shared it here, because it honestly made me really happy with all the stuff that's been going on here. I like getting pieces of good news like that. Rock on, man. Yeah, I get you, Cynthia. It definitely, a lot of times we can tend to self-isolate, but you've put yourself, you said, put me around like-minded people and I'm in my elements. I feel you on that. And that's kind of what I feel like is happening right now, even though there's only like a handful of us on here. And, obviously it would be more interactive if we were all like on video chat. I feel like this is kind of, you all have helped me feel like this community is sort of part of that being in my element, because I don't have a lot of in-person interaction. I don't. And you all just make it feel so welcoming. Sure, maybe it's, quote, my channel, but this channel would not exist, and I would not be able to do it if I didn't have the support from so many awesome souls in this community. So you all you're such a blessing to me. Scrolling down. Okay, so you're reading a comment here. I'm not really religious, but would consider myself a spiritual person. For all I care, you are doing God's work here too, because you're making many people happy with your videos. Thank you, friend. Like I said, I don't ever like to try to get on here and tell people, oh, that's the wrong way to think and only believe this way. And there's a bunch of toxic theology, religion stuff out there like that. I don't particularly believe, even if I'm just talking about the Christian faith, I don't believe that that's the message that we're told to communicate as parts of the Christian faith. But even taking the faith aspect aside, the humanity aspect, treating people with kindness, treating people with goodwill, treating people as humans and not like subhumans and anything like that. I mean, I think that Ren, honestly, and his music and just who he is as a person, has shown that even if people have completely differing faith backgrounds, or whether they consider themselves religious, and I don't even like the term religious myself. I feel like that term has a lot of bad connotations in today's society, but whether it's, religious, spiritual, not at all, whatever it is, there are so many of these common human elements that we can connect on, and music is one of the ways that helps us do that. And I think not just with my videos and the comments that I've seen and the conversations that I've been able to have with you all and that I've seen you all having as well. Not only does it help people just kind of relate like that, but it help. Sorry, I'm trying to. I've got like 4 different thoughts going in my brain. It helps us connect with people we otherwise would not necessarily have any reason to ever know or connect with. Because, like I said, most of you that are on this channel didn't come to this channel for eating disorder recovery content, even though that's a lot of my story, and I share that as it applies throughout my breakdowns and videos, not in everyone, because it doesn't always apply, but I do incorporate it in, and every so often I'll have a vlog or a post about it. And the responses on that even shows me that even though a lot of people didn't come for that, you're struggling with your own demons. Some of you are dealing with that same one. Some of you are dealing with any number of other struggles, any number of other demons and battles that you're fighting, yet we're all able to come together on this human level, just validate each other's suffering and acknowledge it and say, hey, guess what? There can be hope. There can be a better day. There can be a better future. The pendulum will swing back to the light again, eventually, even when it doesn't seem like it. One of the quotes I kind of like to say sometimes is, nothing lasts forever, not even this. And I say that on both sides of the coin. Nothing lasts forever, not even this. So bad things will not last forever, even the worst of the bad things. Also, nothing lasts forever, not even this, the best of the best things. So cling on to the best things as much as you can, and also know that the bad things, likewise, are not gonna last forever. It is, as Rin has said so eloquently multiple times, it's kind of that eternal dance. And one of my lights just died, so let's put that down here. Sorry, it got a little dark. I'm gonna go back to your comments here for just a minute and see what's been going on. Yeah, I agree, Apollo. The community that has been growing around Rin's his just explosion right now. You said ascension. That is such a perfect word, because he has just been taking off absolutely, and it has been so wonderful to witness for sure. Hey Richard, no problem. I'll probably leave this up on the channel, even though it was not planned and it's not been super organized. I'll probably leave it up on the channel. So if you want to check out any that you missed, you can. But again, no pressure. Just happy to have you here at any point. Let's see. Saw someone else chiming in on here for support, but lurking, self-isolating. Hey, self-isolating crew. We got self-isolating crew here in the house tonight. Let's throw up the Star Trek Vulcan salute for that. Self-isolating crew, live long and prosper, peace and long life. There we go. I live in a Trek house, can you tell? No, seriously though, I said that kind of flippantly, but I feel for a lot of you, because the self-isolation is a big thing that I deal with as well. Just scrolling down real quick again. Let's see, someone said, I sub because of 3 reasons. 1, you seem to really know about music. 2, you wear your emotion on your sleeve. And 3, you ooze kindness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, hold on. I just saw this is gonna die. Let me plug this charger in, because I thought it was plugged in and it's not. Electronics are so dramatic. Oh, it's gonna die on me. Give me just a minute, guys. I want to fall out of bed here. This is super professional, huh? Super professional. There we go. Now we're good. When I said low-key and casual, I meant low-key and casual tonight. Let's see. Okay, going back to Sona's comment there. Thank you so much for sharing that. I will say I try to consider myself, or I do consider myself, a student of music, and specifically of hip-hop and rap and lyricism and like wordplay in general. And it's just been amazing to be able to dive into that and know that other people are able to enjoy it as well. So thank you for that. And sorry, the comments just went up on me here. Let me find it again. And as far as wearing my emotion on my sleeve, I've said this I think a couple times before, because the first few videos that I had, I would get an occasional comment, people like, oh, that's fake, you started crying before you even started singing. That was in chalk outlines. And I'm like, what I said to this person, or what I wanted to say, I don't think I actually said it, was, have you literally never been moved to tears by the beautiful music? Because he played a couple beautiful chords right there that moved me to tears before he started singing. I'm sorry that you don't know what it's like, because that's a pretty awesome experience to be moved that emotionally by music. But yeah, any emotion that I share, any reaction I have is completely raw, 100% unfiltered, and because I cannot fake it. I cannot fake emotion. I'm notoriously bad at it. Let's see, I just saw somebody, oh, Vincent, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. more than, again, guys, I'm so sorry. I always say the phrase, more than I can say, more than I can explain. That simply because a lot of times my words don't feel like they can do justice to how much I appreciate you in every single way. Let's see. And I'm also glad, Sona, just to touch on the last part of your comment there. I'm glad that the kindness is able to be felt through the screen. I try to promote kindness as much as I can, simply because I don't like putting a lot of negativity and hate into the world, because there's enough of that. I've mentioned this, I think, in a couple of my diss reactions. I'm excited to post my reaction to Rin's Dumb King Come, which I still need to edit, but I'm excited to post that. But then I'm also just as excited to leave the disses behind and move on to more just regular stuff that's not focused on that negativity there, because I appreciate the culture. I enjoy that, and I just like, I'm glad I did it. I'm really glad. It was a lot of fun. It was a blast, but I can't just keep staying in that negativity state of mind, because it was affecting me a little bit, both recording and then having to edit it all. So I'm glad I did it. We'll get the last one up as soon as I can, but then we'll be moving on, because yeah, the kindness, I much prefer to be able to stay in kindness mode and not have to try to like tear down people in any way, even if I'm just trying to be in the spirit of battling right here. Let's see, scrolling down here. You all are so, I'm just reading through all your comments back and forth to each other. You all are so kind to each other as well. It just makes me smile. See a comment here. I think the brilliance behind faith is the forgiveness that we are, able to give ourselves from being in the human condition. You know, I think that is definitely a really good way to say it. I think a lot of it comes down to self-compassion, and that's something that can be really hard to, one, believe that we are allowed to have, or that we just struggle to give ourselves it all. So it definitely, you phrased that very well. I don't have anything to add, because you said it really well. Let's see. Yeah, sorry, I know some of you all are just talking back and forth to each other, so I'm not going to read every single one aloud here, but you all are so encouraging to each other. This community is awesome. You all are amazing. Yeah, just like Richard said, it's like just friends hanging out. And yes, the name Chalk Outline, that just, it was just emotional. Even him just like walking up before he even plays the chords. Now, granted, the little chair noise that shocked me and shocked, I believe, every reactor, that was a little not so much emotional itself. That jarred me a little bit. But even still, yeah, everything about that song was just so emotional. And yeah, Same Way by Little Girl Gone. Oh my goodness, that one, I had so much fun with that reaction. That song was so powerful. I loved just being able to go off and have such a blast with that. But it hit pretty hard too. There were a lot of things in that hit really close to home. Let's see. You're right, Richard. Haters, all they bring is hate. I'm tempted to sing Taylor Swift, but I'm not going to. Haters gonna hate. Okay, no, sorry. Okay, not doing it now. Oh, Cynthia, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat. And I like your comment. Sending the GoFundMe means not giving YouTube 30%. You're correct. All right. I may do it because I know that I may do it because I know that a lot of you have asked me how you can support. I just, like I said, like I was trying to explain, I just don't want to. It makes me feel uncomfortable doing it when I know that there are other people that also need the support and possibly need it even more. But it is definitely something that's on my radar. And like you said, YouTube does take a good cut of that. And while I don't do this to make money, it is definitely something that could help with treatment costs in the future. So good point on that, YouTube. YouTube likes to take their cut for sure. Let's see. I agree, Sona. I think we all watch, and I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right, but I do think we watch a lot of these reactions because we like just to experience that initial feeling, whether it's our first time or whether it's through someone else. Like you said, they're just vicariously experiencing that. Let's see here. Oh, Scott, wow, you lived in the woods for about 3 months, you and your dog. Wow. I'm sure that was very therapeutic. That's giving me Henry David Thoreau, Walden vibes. Did you get your Thoreau on there? You channel your inner Thoreau there? I don't mean to be flippant about that. I'm a big Thoreau fan. My senior year of college, we took a trip up to Walden Pond and then several other literary sites up there, and it was one of the most beautiful places in the world. But yeah, it was definitely, nature can be so healing and very therapeutic. Yeah, Chalk Outlines. I think there are a lot of us that definitely related hard to that one because a lot of us, unfortunately, have been in that similar position. And while I hate that, I like that we're able to at least connect on it and know that there are other people out there and that we're not the only ones. Let's see. There's a song by Joe, was that Satriani? I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but Vincent's saying it. Joe Satriani, called Crying, that has no words. It makes me bawl. It makes his guitar, or he makes his guitar cry. Oh, all right. I'm going to have to go look that up. I'm going to have to look that up, because if a whole song like that has no words and can make you cry, my goodness, that's powerful. That's a testament to the power of the musician for sure. Okay, looking at the question here, it says, now that you talked about chalk outlines, do you remember the chair at the start of the video and the noise it made? And did you know that the phobia of not being okay is named charophobia? Or I don't know if that's charophobia or cherophobia. Okay, so you may have posted that. You may have posted that comment before I made the little off, or can't talk, before I made the offhand remark about that chair and jumping there. So that's funny, because I didn't know you were going to ask that. But yes, I very much remember that chair, because I remember apologizing for jumping at that chair when he opened it up like that, because I'm very, any type of sudden noise really sets my nervous system off. But then, like, everybody in the comments is like, oh, no need to apologize for that. All of us jumped when they did it with the chair. So yeah, it was just interesting that a lot of different people who don't even necessarily usually have that sensitivity had that same reaction. But no, I did not know that that was the name of the phobia, except I think you may have put that in a comment on that video, or some, I think someone mentioned that, so I would assume that it was you that mentioned it, since you're mentioning it here. I did not know it before that, though, so that was news to me, so thank you for sharing that. Let's see. So Cynthia's saying there, don't overthink, rationalize, like the pool, swim, just jump in. Okay, well, kind of funny, actually. We had Roger's 40th birthday party. I posted a community post on Monday. We had it last weekend, last Saturday, at my parents' pool, and I had like UV protective swimwear that I had to wear, because I can't wear sunscreen because my mast cell activation stuff. I don't have any that I can put on my skin, so I have to wear like clothing in the pool. Finally got it and was able to get in. I sat like halfway in the pool, shivering like this for like the whole time. They're like, just get in, just get in, just get in. I'm like, I don't know if I can. I know that I should be able to. I know that theoretically is going to take care of it in the past, but this was like the first time I had gotten legit in the pool. Well, I did it once in May. I got in the pool. This was the second time I had actually gotten in the pool in over a decade. So it's interesting that you use that there, because I very much was resisting that, Cynthia. And then once I finally did just jump in, things were a lot easier. So there's something to be said both in pool and in life for taking that jump and leap of faith, I think. Let's see. Yeah, no accident without question. I agree. You guys are seriously about to make me cry. In again, in a good way, not in a sad way, but just I struggle so much to believe that there is anything worthwhile in me to give to this world, that there is anything remotely worth caring about, or worth taking time to get to know, or worth people giving any attention to. I really struggle with that. Even though you guys send so many comments like that, it's just, when I say it continues to blow me away, it's because it does, because I struggle so hard to believe any of that stuff about myself. And saying comments like, keeping your beautiful mind here with the world is important enough to go fund you, that, oh, I sure don't feel like my mind is beautiful a lot of the time. So I'm glad that in the moments that I might be able to get it to that point, that you're able to see it and it's able to come through the screen. Why do Charlene, I just saw you ask a comment about why I wear the thing on my head. I actually answered at the beginning of the stream, or a little while ago, but I'll answer it again quickly right here, but you can go back and rewatch it once this uploads at the end if you want. It is a cold pack, and I've had I've had a headache every day since January 20th of 10 years ago, so for like over 10 and a half years, every single day I've had a cold pack, I've had a cold pack. I've had a headache for about the past 6 or 7 years. Of those 10 years, I've had to wear a cold pack 24/7 just because the pain is so bad, so that's why it's always on. That's the shorthand version. I elaborated a little bit more of it earlier on in the stream, but that's the main reason, is my headache just never goes away. Let's see here. Yeah, it's a dog named Moose. I like that. Yeah, that's a good dog name. I agree. And yeah, Walden is just, it was a beautiful place. I actually took my shoes off and waded in Walden Pond. That was a pretty magical experience. I have some pictures of that somewhere. If I can, I might try to put them up on a community post if I can find them and share them that way. But yeah, I loved it there. It was so beautiful. let's see, I was looking at the rest of this comment here. Oh, okay, so this is okay, this is a continuation of your comment about the chalk outline stuff. Says it was so deliberate, and they say, oh, okay. So you're talking about, are you talking about the chair and that thing about the chair and that being so jarring, that being so deliberate? Is that what you meant there when you're saying, and it was so deliberate? And then they sung about that fear of not being okay because, yeah, that was masterful. Yeah, I definitely, I did not mention that in my video, so I'm glad that you haven't seen that on another channel and that you were stunned enough to remember that. That's awesome. I think it's super cool that he said he's possibly going to do an EP with Chinchilla. I heard him say that he wants to do some more with her. So if they do an EP, that would be amazing. Cynthia, I just saw you have to go. Thank you so much for joining. As always, you make me smile. I'm so glad you were here. God bless. Take care of yourself. Definitely we'll see you next time. Hopefully we'll be able to do these live streams a little bit more because it's just been fun chilling here and chatting with you. Okay, I'm honestly probably gonna have to wrap this up in a couple minutes myself. So we're just gonna kind of come to the end here, but let's see, I'm gonna go through the comments, make sure I didn't miss anything. Remember what Ren said in his speech. Once you know the dark and become intimate with it, you become very capable of wielding the light. And you are, Becca. Thank you, friend. Thank you so much. Definitely a truth that I am trying to believe and take to heart for myself. Definitely. Thank you for the reminder though. I appreciate it very much. And yeah, again, like I said, this was not super planned. So it has been a blast to just be able to chat with you guys on here. I know I had a few things there, a few questions from a couple months ago, a little update for right now. And then I just love being able to chat with you about different stuff. And I love seeing you talk to each other in the chat. That warms my heart so much that you're chatting back and forth with each other. I love it. You all are amazing. Hopefully I'll be able to just do these more often, even if I'm not able to be, get all of the content out that's like more refined and all that I want to. Maybe until I'm able to do that, at least we'll be able to have more of these informal and impromptu chat kind of things. So I apologize. I see you guys are still talking back and forth, but I'm gonna have to log off and close it here. But wanted to give you a chance to say anything else you wanted to, 30, 60 seconds or so before we log off so you have time to type. No pressure. Just wanted to give you the opportunity. You all have just been a blessing to me tonight. This has been amazing. And I agree, Apollo. It was so great to hang, and thank you. Thank you very much. Just trying to take it one day at a time and do the best that I can do. And that's all that any of us can do. No matter what our situations are, one day at a time, try to do the best that we can do in any moment. And if something happens, then just try to do the next best thing that we can do. Not always easy, easier said than done, but they say it's always doable, so I'm gonna try to cling to that, and I hope that you all can too. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you so much. I'll see you soon. I have not done this on mobile in a while, so it's gonna take me a minute to close off. Oh, goodness.